When the actor and comedian Roy Hudd died in March 2020, the COVID pandemic meant that his family and friends couldn't hold a memorial service.
And now they're planning to celebrate his life with a special theatre show in London. That's happening in May, starring his friends Alison Steadman and Jon Culshaw.
We will be speaking to Jon in a moment, but first, let's take a moment to enjoy some of Roy's work.
The one and only Mr. Roy Hudd! Papering and Pa said it was waste to call a paper hanger in, so he made some paper. He bought some rolls of paper.
Hi, and welcome to another programme of rough-hewn good humour and tremendously high spirits. What are we... What are we going to be this week?
Rubbish!
Funny. That's what we're going to be, isn't it?
We'll never top those trousers, folks. Soon Dad fell down the stairs and dropped his paper hanger's can on little Henrietta sitting there with her young man. The place stuck them together.
We're joined now by Roy's widow, Debbie, and the comedian, Jon Culshaw. Debbie, it's so nice to hear you watching that and chuckling.
Well, I can't help it when I hear that voice. It's, you know, it was part of my life for 40 years.
And you had a very difficult time. This is during COVID and during lockdown. Because you had a loss and then you couldn't do what, as a lot of families will absolutely empathise with, you couldn't do what you would naturally have done.
No, it was just me and the dogs there for the first year. But I did try to, gave me a chance to try and do a memorial service, and I booked it 3 times and I had to cancel 3 times because of COVID. But that also gave me time to think, should I put my energies into something else? Rather than just one day a memorial, why not something which will be there for many, many years to come?
And what did you end up coming up with? A
statue of Roy. Not up on a pedestal, because that's not Roy.
So paint a picture for us. Where will it be? What will he be doing?
It will be outside the Theatre Royal at Bury St Edmunds. Roy sitting on a bench, so you can... He'll be like this, and you can sit with him and have a natter
I see. So
or
it's
an
kind
ice
of like
cream.
Like immersive, so you can actually...
Yes. And we've got a fantastic sculptor who's agreed to do it, Sean Hedges-Quinn. So it's all stations go.
And just to explain, Bury St Edmunds, what's the link there?
Well, it's about half an hour from where I live, which is great. But Roy did many shows there, and we put the show together for the theatre's 200th birthday. And it's just such a beautiful little Georgian theatre, and Bury St Edmunds itself is a beautiful town. So we had that connection there, and as I say, Roy did his one-man show there. We did that birthday show. He did Goodnight Mr Tom there. And we went and saw many shows there.
So where do you fit into this picture, Jon?
Well, he doesn't. I just dragged him in.
Moral support.
I shall love to see the statue when it's done, and
you might even unveil it. I don't know.
Well, but it's wonderful to, you know, we think of the great statues, you know, Les Dawson, Eric Morecambe. Roy should be up alongside those, and I shall be taking part in the show, the Roy Hudd Lines, at the Sondheim Theatre in May, which will be the statue will celebrate Roy in that manner, and the show will celebrate his presentation, his comedy, the great satire about Roy as well, done with that great, lovely warmth.
Well, you'll really appreciate Jon. I mean, and I must admit, there was quite a bit I didn't know about it, but his background, right back in the early days, I think he was in Butlins, wasn't he, doing stuff then?
Yes, indeed. You think of Roy as a great sort of ringmaster, the impresario, but also the presenter, the comedian, with that great warmth. And of course, when we think of the news headlines on the radio, you know, those gags, they were not afraid to bite with that satire, done in a sort of with great warmth, but also with the bite that you needed.
And being a redcoat is not a bad way to start, is it? Lots of people in the stripes that way.
Oh, exactly. You know, that's a way to connect with audiences. Sometimes it's not just about the comedy; it's about crowd control. So you bring all of those facets together.
So the live show, how much of it will be planned in advance, and how much of it will be improvised, and you'll just have to let it flow?
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a mixture of all of that. Plenty of improvisation, running with the spontaneity when it happens, just as Roy did. He was so good at commanding all of that.
The good thing about having Jon involved in the project is if you can't get someone to turn up, John can just do the voice anyway. So it's a win-win, isn't it?
We might bring in a few special guests and so on.
Yes.
And I can't wait to work with Chris Emmett either. Wonderful Chris Emmett. We were having a chat the other day, and he said, "You do the imitations, I'll do the imitations." He's a great vocal cartoonist.
Yes.
You hear his voices, and it puts such great images in your mind of these larger-than-life characters.
And he was with the show, the news headlines, for the whole 26 years, Chris.
Wow.
I can imagine, Debbie, that you know, we're laughing a lot now, and you're seeing, you know, his work, but the day when that day happens, it's going to be mixed emotions for you, isn't it? Because, you know, a lot of memories.
Yes.
And it's, you know, the life you led together.
Absolutely,
it won't be easy for you, I'm sure.
No, but at the same time, all the writers, the original writers, producers, the band, they're all coming. As John said, Chris, we've also got Nicola McAuliffe as well. And they are part of our history of my life with Roy. So I'll be surrounded by all my friends as well. But it will be a strange sensation. But everything is a bit strange since Roy's gone, you know, but...
Everything is a different world, I would imagine.
It is, absolutely. But I still look at his photo and tell him off when I've done something wrong. You know, but that's part of it, isn't it, moving on. But, yes, it's something which everybody's got so excited about. And I must say, Sir Cameron McIntosh has been fantastic, because it's going to be at the Sondheim Theatre, which is his theatre, and his staff have been amazing. They've been so helpful.
I tell you, one of the things, I know your loss happened during the pandemic, but you'll both know this very well, is people needed to laugh, didn't they? And, you know, that's one of those core principles. We've spoken to a lot of comedians, you'll know this, John, who weren't able to perform. And one thing is it's bad in career terms, but also in terms of just that association with people.
Yes, exactly. Everybody needed to laugh and just see the light side of things. You know, the little things became the really important things. And it was very interesting seeing all the different shows, how they adapted to doing versions on Zoom or without audiences. There was a different feel to the shows, but we clung on to that that sense of laughter.
And Roy must have adapted a lot over the years in terms of comedy changing and, you know, dealing with different things and sensibilities.
It was funny because he always, I mean, he was known for many things, actually, love of musical and that sort of thing, but his great hero was Max Miller. And he used to do a 15-minute Max Miller spot. But whenever we came north of Watford, he said it doesn't go very well. And I said, I've clocked what it is, actually. And it was because Max Miller's patter was so quick. And in different areas, their ear didn't attune. So we just slowed it down.
We're a bit slow up here, Debbie.
I'm a Lancashire lass, don't worry.
Got to know your audience.
Yes, but it was just a case of you adapting like the spots, and once you know what you're dealing with, you're all right.
Well, look, thank you both very much for coming in.
Thank you.
The tickets to see John, many others as well, in the Roy Hudd lines, available to buy now. Good luck.
On the 14th of May.
14th of May.
Look forward to a trip to the bench as well. Thank you.
Thank you.